Chapter 5. Signs. They stood silently, catching their breath. The sky was like sapphire. With each breath, a plume of steam escaped from Luca's lungs. Let's keep moving. Luca pulled Iggy to his feet as they gazed across the snowy terrain.
That was actually pretty badass. I think we lost him. Are we up in the mountains? I don't think so. If anything, we went downhill. What's up with the Winter Wonderland? All I know is there's no going back the way we came. Let's see if we can get our bearings. Follow me.
A disc of smooth metal was lightly covered in snow. Two faint seams were visible along the surface.
A manhole cover? If it is, I've never seen one like it.
What's the readout?
Sitting above 258 Kelvin.
That's down a little bit from last time. Should we report to Mr. Kerr?
Meh, still within safe ranges. Maybe spreading, but it's under control now.
Even a small nudge in equilibrium could cause a cascade.
Dude, relax. Just a few more sites to hit before we can punch out. Let's get this over with.
Wait. This is where our house is supposed to be.
Luca, are you there?
Luca had almost forgotten the walkie-talkie he was carrying.
It's that bozo Kerr.
Hope nothing bad has happened to you out in the woods.
Luca looked at Iggy with hesitation.
No need to be
With a
rude.
resigned sigh, Luca responded.
Seems like the only dangerous thing in the woods is you.
He speaks, the young man of the hour. Now, how in tarnation did you end up with one of our radios?
Just lucky, I guess.
Boy, howdy, you Van Horns are full of surprises, aren't you?
You know my parents?
I never had the honor of meeting your father, but your mom sure was a handful.
Oh.
Luca winced, shoving the walkie-talkie back into his pocket.
We gotta keep moving. This is the grave in the tree, huh? That should be where our house is. This is the Welcome to Becon's Pine sign. What's all this? Hard to say with all the snow. I think it's a town sign. I can almost make out letters under. What town could this even be? There couldn't be another town this deep into Weep Wood. Looking at evidence to the contrary. Let's figure out what we're dealing with here. Step 1, snow gotta go. I'll see what I can do.
The boys stared in disbelief at the sign that now clearly read, "Welcome to Becon Pines."
This doesn't make any sense. We're in Becon Pines? How's that possible? We ran away from town. How did we get back here? I guess we got turned around. Where did all this snow come from? Well, it's been colder than normal lately. That's a pretty big difference between sweater weather and this Arctic hellscape. The puddle we fought at before. It was cold too. Maybe all of it leads to one source. You think it's related? What the hell is going on? We're gonna get you some answers. Let's keep moving. Is there multiple instances of Becon Pines? This stuff looks familiar. To you? It looks like a barrel near the puddle I shoved me into, yeah.
The fencing glistened, each chain link encapsulated with a translucent layer of ice.
Looks like the stuff they put up around Wheatwood. The stuff who put up? I don't know. It's all
Looking
frozen.
down at the frozen stream, Luca could faintly see a school of minnows encased in the ice.
Whatever happened here, it happened fast. Fish didn't even have time to run. Or, swim run.
The crunching of footsteps trailing Luca went hush. He looked back to see Iggy's face twisted with confusion.
Everyone's gone. What? There's nothing here but more snow. There must be an explanation for all this. We have to keep looking. You can look all you want. I quit. Iggy, we have to keep going. You don't get it, do you? This isn't one of your pathetic Hank Atomic stories. We aren't going to save the day. We aren't going to save ourselves. My face is mangled. The town is destroyed. And everyone we've ever known is gone. We don't know that. We can't just quit. Do whatever you want. I'm done. Iggy, it's going to be okay.
Luca peered upward at the darkening sky. He let out a long, foggy breath. Faintly, Iggy began to cry. Seeing Iggy in such a pathetic state gave Luca a sense of compassion and more than a little guilt.
Getting pretty late, I think. Probably not a great idea to stumble around in the dark anyway.
Luca allowed himself to collapse next to Iggy.
Let's just rest for a
The
bit.
boys huddled together for warmth and comfort. If not for exhaustion, their minds would be racing, trying to make sense of the events of the day.
It's not the right building, though.
As it was, all they had energy for was to sit in silence, numb.
The way the snow's covered everything over. It's kind of calming. Yeah. I haven't had time to say it, but thanks. Huh? We're getting this away from those creeps. I sort of froze up back there. Iggy, I should be the one apologizing. This all happened because I lost my temper. Nah, that's bull hockey. First of all, you didn't know what that gunk would do. You didn't, right? Of course not. And second, stop with this baloney about losing your temper. I did lose my temper.
Iggy motioned sarcastically to his half-deformed face.
Obviously. But that's exactly what you should have done. Huh? As being a horse ass. You were supposed to be a horse ass in response. That's how it works. Iggy, I'm having a hard time following. You wanted me to fight you? Of course. Geez, you goody-goody types take forever to understand the very basic point. Why would you go around saying cruel things trying to get into fights?
He shrugged.
It's something to do. You're an asshole because you're bored? Sometimes I just feel empty. You wouldn't understand. You and Rolo are always having a blast together. Laughing and calling that dinky little treehouse mission control.
Iggy now wept openly.
Perfect little Luca Van Horn with his perfect little life. My life's not perfect. Everybody in town likes you. Not everybody. Hell, that new girl hasn't even unpacked yet, and even she already likes you. You have Tish.
He wiped his nose with a sleeve.
I love Tish. Tish is great. But she ain't exactly the world's greatest conversationalist, you know?
Luca gave a warm chuckle.
I get that impression.
Iggy cleared his throat as he wiped his eyes.
It must be raining out here. Definitely.
Iggy arched into a wide yawn.
I should probably try to get some sleep. Yeah. Let's lay low for now. Tomorrow we get to the bottom of all this.
Luca's eyelids began to slowly drift shut.
Luca? Yeah? I always did want to see the inside of your dinky little treehouse. What do you think? Not bad. I'll give you the full tour when we get back. You know what?
That's all Luca could whisper before succumbing to sleep. Iggy snuggled in some more.
When it comes to worst days of my entire life, this one wasn't half bad.
The house smelled of warm bread. Luca was playing with toy blocks on the living room rug. He looked up to see his parents on the couch. His mother held his father's head in her lap. She idly stroked his hair while humming a song. A voice behind Luca spoke. "This is how you remember them, huh?" Luca turned to see his own face. The doppelganger from his dreams, still clad in a yellow hazmat suit, still carrying a look of disdain behind empty eyes.
Wait, but that dream was from a different timeline.
this perfectly cozy scene. You know it wasn't really like this. The figure picked up a toy block and inspected it. It's amazing the facades that one can build given the right materials. Not that I blame us. These are a child's memories, all warm and fuzzy. You don't remember, do you? Lucas snatched the block from the figure's yellow-gloved hand. Remember what? The doppelganger pointed to the couch. The last day we saw him alive. The day he chose to abandon us. Luca turned to look at his father, still lounging on the couch. That's not true. He didn't abandon us. The doppelganger waved his hand dismissively. Everything is true here. It's just a matter of what we choose to see. Well, let me show you. The world flickered and pulsed. Luca was sitting next to his bed, listening to his heartbeat with one of his dad's stethoscopes. The doppelganger limped into the room. Now, we both know that's not how this went. He grabbed Luca's hand and guided the stethoscope to the floor. Luca heard muffled shouting, brought close by the stethoscope. It was his parents, fighting. Do you remember what we did next? Luca gave a slow nod and crept down the hall to peek through the banister. He could see the outline of his mother at the bottom of the stairs. Damn it, Walt. We can't afford to get involved in this. She was scared. His father stepped forward. What am I supposed to do? Just watch? There's a sickness in this town, and we both know who's behind it. I swore an oath to help people. I won't turn my back on them. Luca's mother grabbed Walt. She was crying, pleading. I can't lose you. Walt calmly removed Eleanor's hand from his shoulder. What's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. I could never live with myself if I let Sharper get away with this. Eleanor raised her voice. Spare me your bullshit platitudes. What about our son? Luca flinched, dropping the stethoscope down the stairs. Walt turned with a panicked smile. Luca, is that you, buddy? With tears in his eyes, Luca descended the stairs. Mom? Dad? What's going on? Walt dropped to a knee to meet Luca eye to eye. Nothing, buckaroo. Your mom and I just got a little overexcited is all. Luca placed the stethoscope against his father's chest. His heart was racing. It sounded like you were going somewhere. Walt gently removed the device from Luca's ears. Listen to me, Luca. I have some business to take care of. I'll be back in time to tuck you in. Luca hugged his father tightly. Promise? Walt stood up and walked to the door. He glanced over his shoulder. I promise. With a wink and a grin, he put on his hat and strode out into the evening sun. A figure approached soundlessly from the foggy snowfall. It stood above them, lingering in contemplation. Slowly raising one hand above Iggy, it snapped out 2 brisk raps on his head. From a deep slumber, Iggy sprang up defensively.
Get your hands off me.
Whether it was the calming presence or the recognition that he was not in danger, Iggy felt his clenched fists lower.
Just what do you think you're doing?
Luca looked up, gradually remembering his whereabouts. The figure exhaled a cloud of warm vapor.
You two certainly have caused a lot of commotion. What's that supposed to mean? Take it easy, Iggy. We were asleep minding our own business. The one running around knocking on people's heads. Sorry if I hurt you, Iggy. You didn't hurt nobody. Anybody. Huh? Oh, I see. You think you're better than me, you...
When it came to complete strangers, Iggy had trouble cobbling together an insult.
You big-hatted, scarfy-necked furball. Okay, let's lower the temperature a bit here. Interesting choice of words. I mean, let's all just calm down. Who are you? A friend? An observer? A hitchhiker on the infinite expanse of possibilities? Great, how about a name? You must call me something, you can call me Nat.
Iggy huffed with gratification.
How about you make like a gnat and buzz off? Very well.
Nat began to turn away indifferently.
Wait, do you live here? You might say that. So you know where we are? You might also say that. Look, pal, we just want to find a safe way out of here. Are you going to help us or not? Before knowing how to lead, you must know where they are. All right, that does it. Luca, I don't know about you, but I'm going to get out of here one way or another.
Iggy turned sharply and began to stomp off.
Enough with riddles. Iggy, wait up.
Realizing he'd worn their patience then, Nat relented.
Very well, I suppose this isn't time for metaphors. I'll show you how to get back home.
Luca and Iggy turned around with hope in their eyes.
Come here.
Nat took a deep breath in.
Close your eyes.
Nat exhaled slowly, then snapped his fingers.
Okay, open them.
For a brief moment, Luca and Iggy let themselves believe that some great magic was about to unfold, until they opened their eyes and found themselves in the exact same place, cold and disheartened.
This is your home. This is Becon Pines. Look, Nat, we don't know how we got here. Did we stumble through some time travel gate in Weepwood? Were teleported to some alternate universe? Or this is all some cruel experiment by Kerr and his goons? But this is not our home. You're inching closer to the truth. Alas, the reality is much less fanciful. Just give it to us straight. So be it. As I said, this is Becon Pines. The original, true Becon Pines. You both grew up here. But the town you've called your home for the past several years is a replica. A remarkable achievement of engineering, to be fair, but a replica nonetheless. That's impossible. It's too much work. You'd need a whole town to replicate a whole town. Indeed, to pull off such a feat would require immense labor power. That which could be moved would be moved. That which could not would require a precision duplicate. We would have noticed. Someone would have noticed. You think so, unless the auditing was impeccable. A mind-numbing attention to detail. As for the innumerable trivialities which complete the travesty, well, you can leave that to this meticulous thing we call a brain. It has a real aversion to discontinuity, a revulsion even. The brain has a wonderful way of smoothing out the edges, keeping us sane. Luke and Iggy looked around uncomfortably. Why isn't this voice acted? So you're saying that someone made an entirely new town and moved us all, and no one noticed? Precisely. But why? Why is the question that can never be answered with certainty. The best one can do is uncover.
Nat narrowed his eyes, furrowed his brow, and uttered,
The source. Why do you say the source like that? Why indeed?
Luca began to laugh uncomfortably.
It's all ridiculous. There's no way they
He
could.
looked down at his feet. His eyes started back and forth in contemplation. With a sudden pain, a thought struck him.
If this really is home.
He sprinted off into the pale distance. As Iggy turned to follow, Nat called out,
Iggy, it's not too late to turn back. Simply head west through Weepwood.
Chapter 6. The Source. Nat expressed his sympathy with a shrug and sauntered off as unassumingly as he'd arrived. He'd given Luca and Iggy what they needed, and nothing more. As Luca sprinted across the snow, the events of the past few days became clearer, pieces to a larger puzzle. Rollo said he was underground somewhere, captured. Mr. Kerr tried to cover it up with lies. The clipboards were hell-bent on capturing Iggy. It all seemed to point to perennial harvest. But right now, there was one thing that Luca needed to know. Luca stopped dead in his tracks. The tree was gone, uprooted and moved, leaving a raw gash in the earth. He dropped to his knees and dug wildly at the cold snow. His numb hands hit something hard. A headstone. A dry whisper escaped Luca's lips.
You're here. All this time I thought I was visiting you. You've been here, alone, in the snow. Dad, I'm so sorry. I ruined your favorite spot in the world. Our favorite spot in the world. Dad, what do I do?
There was no reply. Just snow-covered silence.
Why'd you give me the slip like that? What if I couldn't find you, you
He
jerk?
finally noticed the tears welling in Luca's eyes and the snow-covered grave.
Oh. Iggy, they stole his tree, Iggy. Yikes.
Suddenly, they heard the crunch of approaching footsteps in the snow.
We gotta hide.
$259K. All off distance is still good. Dude, you hear me? I said 259.
Sorry. Ever think about what we did here?
We saved a whole town of people.
Doesn't feel like it sometimes. What about everything we left behind? That's this grave of someone with a family. People who love them will never know the truth.
Truth is
He bent
overrated.
down to scoop up a snowball and lobbed it playfully.
Hey,
Don't be such a downer, dude. We took this job to change the world.
yeah,
Come on. It's almost lunchtime.
weirdo. Or I thought I was a jerk. These dinguses are out here literally dancing on
Luca
graves.
stuttered through heaving sobs.
But I was visiting him. I thought he was with me. Not gonna lie, that's a bad break. Here's some
He gave
advice.
Luca a solid smack on the back of his head.
Hey, who's any of this helping? What? Sitting here in the snow crying like some pushover. Who are you helping? Nikki, look at what they did. They lied to everyone. Blah, blah, blah. Luke Van Horn, you're a lot of things, but you ain't no pushover. What'd I tell you before? If some jerk comes at you acting like a horse ass, I should stand up for myself. Hell yeah. Kurt and his merry little band of clipboards pulled off this switcheroo for a reason, right? That mentioned something about a source.
Luca wiped his eyes with a sleeve.
Whatever's at the source must be awfully valuable to perennial harvest. Should be a shame if something unfortunate were to happen to their precious source, wouldn't it? What do you have in mind? If it's small enough to steal, we snatch it. If it's too big to snatch, we smash it. What if it's too big to smash?
Iggy flashed a mischievous smile and cracked his knuckles.
It's always up for a challenge. I'm always up for a challenge. I'm gonna make this right, Dad. I promise. Let's do this. Getting awful cold out there in those woods, Luca. Probably best you two stay put and conserve your energy. Help is on the way. Where's Rollo? Where's my mom? Did you kill her? Oh, heavens no. Do I seem like a killer to you?
Iggy and Luca shared a skeptical look.
Well, do I? Oh, shucks. Now that hurts my feelings.
Screw that guy. Wait a minute. If this is the original town, that means...
Iggy darted behind a large pine and began digging furiously. He emerged holding a shoebox with a crude skull painted on its lid.
What's that? Long story. So a few years back, I came into possession of some premium grade fireworks. Not the wimpy firecracker stuff that they gave kids. Good stuff. So why do you bury it under a tree? That's the long part of the story. You and Rollo were doing chores at Rollo's chicken coop. And you guys pissed me off for some reason or another.
Luca rolled his eyes with realization.
No, you didn't.
Iggy stifled a chuckle.
Yep. I just wanted to give you guys a little scare. But like I said, these were some primo fireworks. So I might have underestimated things. You blew up the chicken coop. I prefer to think of it as a incendiary redecoration. Sorry, but you should have seen the looks on your faces. Rollo got grounded for months, which is why I needed to smash the evidence and lay low. So I buried him under that tree. When I came back for him later, they were gone. I figured some grown-up found him and tossed
He
him.
triumphantly raised the shoebox.
Turns out it wasn't the fireworks that got moved. It was us. Unbelievable.
You think this is a game? Newsflash, boyo. You're not a hero. You're a little brat who is in way over his head.
The hero is just someone who refuses to give up.
Comics these days are rotting children's brains. Everyone thinks they're a spaceman superhero.
I was always partial to Hank Atomic myself.
Is that so? Do you really think you have a chance against us? You have no idea how powerful we are.
Prepare for blast-off, loser. So they ripped the fountain out, too. Can't go up the steps. Crooked. Just like this whole stinking place.
We can't go this way anymore? No.
Luca and Iggy inched up to the edge of the hole with bewilderment in their eyes. Arctic air breathed out of the cavern in heaving gusts.
Echo, 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 echo. Whoa. I can see why they wanted to move us all out of town now. But why'd they dig a giant hole? I think this is it. This is the source? It's a dang hole. How do you smash a hole?
Oh, it's much more than that, my annoying little friend.
Kerr. Where's Rollo?
I wasn't lying before. He's safe. Well, safer than you two, at least. Rats, it's cold. You just had to drag me all the way out here, didn't you?
Mr. Kerr gazed down the abyss in contemplation.
It really is something, isn't it?
What do you do to our town? What is all this?
Well, it's a doozy of a question. This is the source, where they collect the unrefined,
Kerr scratched the back of his head.
Honestly, boys, I don't understand any of this well enough to explain it. The matter of fact is, I'm not paid to know.
What do you mean you don't know? Ain't you in charge?
Oh, heavens no. My role is merely to flash a winning smile and manage various complications.
Complications like us.
You are a smart boy.
His face contorted into a saccharine grin.
It really is nothing personal. Some people are destined to strive for greatness, and others are simply obstacles along the way.
Seems like you were destined to be a creepy lackey.
The point is that we all play our part in life. I just happen to be a lead in the role of a lifetime, and you happen to be extras, ready for your curtain call.
We aren't giving up without a fight. Your smile ain't gonna be so damn winning after we're done with you.
Now, boys, there is no need for melodrama. It makes even a professional such as myself embarrassed for you. Let's change the mood a bit.
Kerr snapped his fingers.
Scene change. Yeah, that's better. Deal with them.
Iggy turned to Luca with a sly glance.
Why are you smirking?
Because I have a box full of fireworks and you don't.
Iggy waved the box into the air, threatening to drop it down the hole.
Stop. Let's not do something regrettable.
Joke's on you. Regret is one of my specialties. Out of curiosity, what would happen if I threw these in your precious hole?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
You're a terrible liar.
I'll have you know, I am an exceptional liar.
Up. That's far enough.
Iggy plucked a single bottle rocket from the box and held it up with reverence.
Stop, you fool.
Call off your goons.
After a long pause, Mr. Kerr flung up his hand with frustration.
Very well. You can all head back for the night. It's been a long day. I'll handle these two from here.
Mr. Kerr sighed into the frigid air.
It's just us now, Iggy. You can put that down.
What, like this?
With a nonchalant flick, Iggy tossed the firework into the hole.
Ooh. Whoa.
With a growl, Kerr leapt at Iggy, crashing through Luca. Iggy tried to twist away, but in the struggle they both tumbled over the side. Luca dove forward, bracing Iggy's hand just before it slipped. His grip was made precarious by the cold, wet snow.
This is the figurehead for the perennial harvest.
He could see Kerr further down, clinging to Iggy's coat.
You reckless child. What have you done? Luca, listen to me. Hold on tight and use the walkie-talkie to call them back.
How, what channel do I use?
It doesn't make a damn difference. They're always listening.
You do that, the clipboards will just pull us up and snag us both. The only way for you to get out of all this is if Kerr... The only way for you to get out of this is if Kerr's out of the picture. Just let go and save yourself.
If he lets go, we both die.
I don't want to die, but seeing the look on your face almost makes it worth it. Mr. Kerr, you've had a long life. Why don't you actually do something selfish and just let go?
Mr. Kerr gasped with insult.
Long life? I'll have you know I can still play 25. You should have heard me sing the part of Phyllis Young.
With a wild look in his eye, Mr. Kerr began to hum a proud melody.
Dum dum. Birdie dum dum.
Wow, can you believe this guy?
Luca's hand began to cramp. His voice began to crack.
Kerr, just let go.
No can do. You want to save your friend, you'll have to save me too.
Luca, look at me. It's okay.
Luca felt Iggy loosen his grasp.
You aren't going to kill your friend like that, are you?
Every muscle in Luca's body burned.
I'm not his friend. Yes, you are. Nah, I'm just a no-good bully. Like you, Kerr. Iggy, no.
Luca felt his hand slipping.
And I told you what you need to do with bullies. I can't. It's your only way out of this mess. Two birds with one stone. Makes sense for us to fall together. Wackadoos travel in packs.
Calm settled over Iggy's face.
Luca, let me do this.
Iggy's voice was colder than the bitter air billowing from the chasm.
Let me do the right thing for once.
Luca had no choice but to refuse Iggy's request. He tightened his grip and reached for the walkie-talkie in his pocket. A wild delight crept onto Mr. Kerr's face. That That's a good lad. Now, radio for help. Iggy begged Luca with his eyes one last time, but Luca pressed the button and called out, We need help. Mr. Kerr is in danger. It wasn't long before they were once again surrounded by clipboards. Mr. Kerr sighed with relieved frustration. There you are. You really are a worthless lot, aren't you? Mirror, now. A clipboard dutifully produced an ornate ivory hand mirror, and Mr. Kerr began preening his tousled hair. Ah, that's better. Mr. Van Horn, I applaud your sharp thinking under duress. I'll put in a good word for you with the founder. Take them away. A swarm of hands overpowered Luca. The last thing he saw before a cloth bag was pulled over his head was the defeated look on Iggy's face. The end. I think this was one of those times where doing the right thing was the wrong thing.
Fine.
Luca had no choice but to accept Iggy's request. With a quiet blink, Luca watched a teardrop sail down into the howling void. As his fingers slowly gave up, he met eyes with Iggy.
Good.
The two silhouettes were swallowed by darkness.
Hell of a goodbye, Iggy. Luca, you should really step back. What? Quickly. Curious. Ah, but of course. Those fireworks of Iggy's must have been just the right amount of energy. We should get out of here before perennial harvest arrives. Not until you tell me what just happened. Your friend's sacrifice just saved this town. For a little while, anyways. Ow. Tremendous liquamine is a peculiar substance. It can change the relationship between matter and time itself, but doing so requires unfathomable energy. In a closed system, that energy can only come from its surroundings. A useful side product of this property being, by adding precisely the correct amount of energy to it, it can create a cryogenic cascade. So the gunk makes things cold and the fireworks made the whole freeze over? That's one way of putting it, yes. As dumb luck would have it, the fireworks weren't strong enough to generate a runaway reaction. I shudder to think what would have happened in that case.
We have some idea what that would look like.
Yes, we do. It'll take them a good while to safely break through and access the source again. If you know all this stuff, why have you been helping? I have been, in my way. Each one of us has our role to play. Iggy's role, it turns out, was to buy us precious time. Mine's been to observe and wait. Wait for what? You. Me? Why? What's my role?
A fierce twinkle flashed in Nat's eyes.
Luke Van Horn. You were gonna save the world.
With a chuckle, Nat turned and walked west. Dumbfounded, Luca followed behind him, trudging through the snow. Every step taking him further away from everyone and everything he knew, and closer to destiny. To be continued in Becon Pines, Pines Harder. Revenge served cold. Second time's a charm? Wait, that's it? This ends with a crummy cliffhanger just when it was getting good? I was even starting to like Iggy. No way. I refuse to be associated with some never-ending parade of sequels. Let's go back and find something more definitive.
Alright, what if we tickle? Will that not push Iggy in this time?
Well, time to bust out the tickles.
Hey Tish, want to see something cool?
Yup.
Check it.
Beck lunged forward and began to tickle under Tish's arms.
What the? Tish, is she tickling you? Yup. Yup. Yup.
Tears began to form in Tish's eyes as she gasped for breath between gales of laughter.
Yup.
Beck redoubled her efforts until Tish finally had had enough.
What just happened? She seemed nice. Sorry for the interruption. I think you were just threatening us.
His eyes darted around, a realization dawning on his face that he was now outnumbered.
I just remembered. I have somewhere to be. See you around, new kid.
Iggy kicked at the puddle before making his escape.
Oh no. Oh. A little creep. Beck, I think you got a little ooze in your hair.
Beck shook the ooze out of her hair as best as she could.
Is it bad? It depends. What are you feeling about having a more mature, refined look? Oh God.
Chapter 4. The Best Policy. Luca paused for a moment, catching his breath. He'd only just met Beck, and somehow he already managed to drag her into this mess. Hopefully he could make it up to her. But finding Rollo was his primary concern.
Oh shit. Luca, what the hell are you doing out here? And why did that kid with gray hair just run past us in a panic?
Roxy and Fitz looked drained. It was clear they'd spent all day searching.
That's Beck.
I don't care who she is. What happened?
You're just helping looking... Doesn't that also mean Iggy's foot?
Never mind.
Looking for Rollo.
Luca, I need you to start telling me the
Roxy's
truth.
temper could often be dismissed as the impatience of an older sibling, but this was the most intense Luca had ever seen her. Her eyes were wild and unfocused, looking straight through Luca.
We're running out of time.
In a torrent of rambled words and tears, Luca broke down.
Rollo and I weren't just playing in Weeping Wood yesterday. You're investigating the lights of the old Valentine warehouse. Someone was in there in a strange suit. And we hid in the dumpster and had a heavy bag dropped on us. And I think it was a body. And so we ran, but we got split up. And I ran home. And it's all my fault. And now my best friend may never come back. Wow. Just wow.
Roxy, still exhausted and angry, softened briefly as her eyes hunted the ground in thought. With a determined sigh, she looked up at Luca.
It's not your fault, Luca.
Rollo is going to be okay. Promise.
Roxy drew herself up.
I'm gonna fix this. Luca, go home. But I want to help. It's too dangerous for a kid. I can't just sit around. I have to do something.
Roxy tried to think of the safest place to send Luca.
You go back to that little treehouse you two like to play in. Wait there in case Rollo shows up. Sound like a plan?
Luca wiped his cheeks and gave a quick nod.
The treehouse isn't safe.
You did the right thing telling me the truth. Now scoot. You really believe his story? What other option do we have? Things have been strange around here leading up to the festival. My dad has been acting weird lately. Well, weirder than normal.
Looking into the puddle, Roxy rubbed her arms to warm up.
Why is it so cold here? This place gives me the willies.
We catch Beck.
Mr. Nuncreed jumped with a start.
Whoa, don't sneak up on an old fella like that.
Sorry. Who are you talking to?
What?
Luca motioned to the phone booth.
Oh no, I was just checking because I thought I heard it ring. The dang thing never does, of course.
Yeah, I've never seen anyone use it, really.
The whole thing's a waste of money if you ask me. Any word from Olo yet?
Not yet.
Long time for a boy to lose his way.
No one knows these woods too well to get lost.
I suppose you're right. Silly boy's antics have this whole town worried sick.
What's with this music? Antics?
We all know Rollo likes to play his little pranks.
You think this is a prank?
What other possible explanation could there be?
He's not playing a prank, and he didn't get lost. Someone took him, I know it.
How would you know that? Unless... Luca, is there something else that you know?
Mr. Nuncreed gently placed one of his substantial hands on Luca's shoulder.
Dang it, boy, if there's something you know, something that could help your friend, you need to tell folks.
Luca peered up at Mr. Nuncreed. Kind eyes warmed a stern face. There was a deeper emotion hiding beneath it all. It was subtle, but Luca could sense something eating away at him.
There was a shame lurking behind those eyes.
There was a shame lurking behind those eyes. A deep sadness. If Mr. Nuncreed was that worried about Rollo, maybe he could help.
Yesterday, Rollo and I were messing around the old Valentine warehouse.
Mr. Nuncreed raised an eyebrow.
Both of you? You were with Rollo when he went missing?
Not exactly, I was hiding in the dumpster.
The dumpster? What were you doing in there?
At first, we were just looking around. Then someone in a strange yellow suit came and dumped something on us. We both got scared and ran. That was the last I saw of him.
You got scared by some garbage? That's why you don't go skulking in someone's dumpster.
But it wasn't garbage. I think it was a body.
I'm sure it was just some trash.
No, there was a name tag. It said Deep Engineering. Oh shit. And that's what what's-her-name got brought here for.
Mr. Nuncreed's shoulders slumped.
I wish you wouldn't have said that.
A deep sigh bellowed from his chest.
Why did you have to? I tried, Luca. God knows I tried to keep you safe.
Luca attempted to take a step back, but Nuncreed's hand clamped down on his shoulder.
But you Van Horns just can't help yourselves, can you? We were all so close to being done with this.
With a firm shove, Nuncreed manhandled Luca into the phone booth.
What are you doing?
It's out of my hands now.
The door latched shut with a mechanical hiss.
Shit.
As Luca pounded the glass, the floor dropped from under his feet. The inside of the phone booth was now a loose capsule plummeting at gravity's whim.
That was a good twist.
Luca winced and pressed his hands to the walls. As he braced for impact, the capsule hurried to a surprisingly smooth stop. He felt a cold rush of air and opened his eyes with hesitance. Two large figures in hazmat suits occluded his view. Luca heard the deep, resigned voice of Mr. Nuncreed over an intercom. He knows too much. The end. Wait. No. This isn't the end. I know there's still much more. Somehow this went wrong. Okay, let's try something else.
Oops. No. No. God damn it.
There was deep if miss.
Okay, so there's something else to use for shame, but we don't have it. We've exhausted this one. So our only choice is break.
Luca began to respond, but the sky answered for him as the clouds above began to break, revealing patches of star-filled summer night. Moonlight filtered down, shimmering in the treetops.
Sure, you can meet Rollo. You're not going home? No, I promised Rollo I'd tell him
Lucas
about...
stopped himself mid-sentence.
Promised you tell him what? Spit it out, bub. We're thick as thieves now. If there's a juicy secret you've got to tell me. Okay, you can come to the treehouse and I'll tell you both what happened. Heck yeah.
Lucas saw Beck skulking by the gate.
So you telling me there's nothing mysterious or creepy about this place? Mostly boring and empty. I refuse to believe that. Big spiked gate. Looming mansion. Rich reclusive owners. It even smells shady.
Beck grabbed the wrought iron bars and shook the gate.
Mark my words, you decadent nightmare house. I will reveal your secrets to me. What did you do? First of all, I told you so. Second, hide. That's Harris Valentine. They're with the hazmat suit people. Who's she talking to?
I expect you to return that suit in working order. Of course. As long as everything proceeds as planned. There's nothing to worry about.
The only thing I'm worried about is what rightfully is mine. If that means making some unsavory alliances, so be it.
I couldn't agree more. There comes a time to suspend hostilities. I'll deal with our common threat.
Now this is what I was talking
Beck's
about.
voice was an excited whisper.
Proper shady stuff. Someone in a suit like that tried to grab me yesterday. Seriously? Shh. You do understand that when this all inevitably fails, I will deny everything.
I wouldn't expect any less of you. You just worry about your part in this and let me handle the rest.
I can't wait to see that look on Rube Kerr's face.
Yes, the truth will come to light.
I'm still surprised you're so comfortable with the potential collateral damage.
There's one thing I've learned. It's that change is painful.
Wow, I was expecting shady. But that's just flat out supervillain talk.
You don't mind me asking, why? Why are you doing all
The
this?
mysterious figure retracted their mask, hair pushing out from all corners.
Wait, is it Grandma? It's Grandma. Family.
A chill ran down Lucas' spine. His vision blurred. Beck stifled a sharp wince, and Luca looked down to see himself wrenching her hand.
An answer I can certainly respect.
Gran tousled her hair back under the face mask.
Just remember, keep everything nice and normal until the festival. I don't need lessons in rousing suspicion.
Gran gave Eris a curt nod and disappeared into the night. Chapter 5. What big ears you have! Lucas sat shivering in the bushes, staring at his feet. After checking to make sure the coast was clear, Beck gave him a gentle tug on his sweater.
What's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost. Why are you so scared of the old lady in a hazmat suit? It was my gran. It was your gran? Yeah. Okay, well, I'm sure there's a perfectly reasonable explanation for all this. Let's just get to the treehouse and figure things out there. Lead the way.
Maybe go that way, okay. For the last time, there's nothing to worry about.
Of course, we're not
The
worried.
clipboard finished writing with a scratchy flourish and looked up.
Just dotting our I's and crossing our T's.
Well, maybe try minding your P's and Q's.
Mr. Nuncreed, arms crossed over his paunch, gave an exhausted sigh.
If there's anything you need knowing, you'll know it.
Absolutely. If you'll just sign here, acknowledge everything is accurate. We'll be out of your hair in a flash.
Oh, for the love of...
He snatched the pad and scribbled his name so hard the pen nearly snapped.
There. Would you like my internal soul as well?
The clipboards looked at each other for a moment, almost pondering the possibility, then broke into laughter as they walked away.
Hi, Mr. Nungreed.
Luca, let me give you some advice. Next time someone you don't know asks to hear your thoughts, give him a good hard bop right in the kisser.
Well, Gran tells me just to keep away from the clipboards.
That's good, that's good. Your Gran is a smart lady, Luca. Speaking of which, you better run along home now. Too dark to be out wandering on your own.
Oh? The answers you seek will be revealed in your due time. The question is, you the figure intoned. Are you prepared to live with the truth? Another day, another dollar. See you tomorrow, Z. Have you noticed all the perennial harvest folks order the same drink? Decaf cappuccino with extra foam? Why? I don't know. Just thought it's a little odd. Pretty weird for sure. Well, the customer's always right. See you bright and early tomorrow. I can't wait. I haven't been able to go back into the diner to fulfill Mom's side of things. Okay, same video. You know what? We need some watermelon hidden in order to calm down. Okay, we're good. Nighttime is the perfect time to visit a history museum, right?
William Kerr and Gus Valentine proudly surveyed the half-covered festival banner.
It's all coming together quite nicely. I couldn't have done it without you.
The mayor gave a half-hearted shrug.
I'm not so sure about that. Nonsense! That reminds me, I wasn't able to thank your sister for her contributions. Yeah, she has been indisposed of late. She doesn't like me much, does she? Oh no, that's not it at all. She's just been busy. Of course. Regardless, I will be forever grateful if you could pass my thanks on to her. The History Museum adds a real air of import to the whole affair. We couldn't very well celebrate the story of Becon Pines without including the Valentines. My father was a great man. You're damn tootin' he was.
Kerr locked his arm on Gus's shoulder.
But I mean the entire Valentine family. Present company included. Can I ask you something, Mr. Kerr? Call me William. Ask away. William, why are you doing all this? Gosh, I've never felt one needed a compelling reason to throw a party. Not just the festival. All of this. There's got to be 100 down on their luck towns out there. Why is Perneral? Why every, seventh time this word comes up, I can't pronounce it. Harvest so invested in helping Becon Pines. You know what I love most about the agriculture business? Seeds. Seeds? Yep, little bundles of potential.
With a glimmer in his eye, Kerr gestured grandly toward the horizon.
You treat a seed right, nurture it, feed it, and it can grow into something truly special. You see potential here? Undoubtedly. The seed of greatness is already under our fleet. All it needs is a little nudge. And the right leadership, of course. Oh. Good night, Mayor Valentine. Wow, that was... He just burned the mayor. You just said the right leadership, and you're not it. Oof. Oh, this is nice. Yeah, the treehouse is just a little further on from here. So what's your buddy Rolo like? He's Rolo. Not particularly helpful. Sorry, I've just never thought about it. Lots of energy. He's funny, even when he's not trying to be. Things have been tough for his family since the foul harvest. About time you tell me what this foul harvest thingy is. Kind of a long story. Hit me with the highlights. Okay. There used to be a fertilizer company called Valentine's. They were kind of a big deal. Ooh, big deal fertilizer. It was a big deal to us. Their stuff really worked. Farmers loved it. So Valentine grew and grew. Beacon Pines pretty much grew around it. Most everyone in town either worked for a sharper Valentine or used his fertilizer. Things were good. I'm sensing a big but. Around 6 years ago, Sharper Valentine suddenly died. And something changed. Changed how? Could have been a bad batch. Maybe it was in the water, or air, or soil. Nobody knows. But all the crops died. And everyone blamed the Valentines. The foul harvest. Yeah. Valentine's fertilizer went out of business. Half the town lost their jobs. Sheesh. Next year, the crops came back, but something was different. You plant a crop, do everything right, and it's sort of a crapshoot what happens. And no one knows why? Nope. I take it Rolo's farm got the short end of the stick? Yep, for some reason their farm was hit harder than others. That sucks. Things have gotten better since the perennial harvest came to town. The Becon Pines Reborn initiative. Yep, first thing they did was give the town a deep scrub. They even put us in the hotels one town over for a week while they decontaminated the groundwater. That's how they moved everybody. We better get going. Dad, do we got any more bait? We do. We got crooked.
Luca tied a bent nail onto the line. If all you have is a hammer...
Oops. Wasn't paying attention.
Luca tied a... If all you...
It's a photo of you and Uncle Joseph.
Let me see that. Look at those two young fools.
I ended up at the bottom of the pond.
Who can say? Some things are just hard to explain.
I miss Uncle Joseph. How come he doesn't come fishing with us anymore?
He's busy with his new job at Valentine's.
What's a new job got to do with us fishing with him?
Complicated. Like I said, some things are hard to explain. Well, that's quite a haul. Feels like a good time to pack up.
Just a little bit longer.
Things lasted forever. It might not feel as special, huh?
I guess.
Make you a deal, Buckaroo. You ever feel like you need to talk about anything at all? You just say, let's go fishing, and I'll know what you mean.
Like a secret password?
Yep, top secret.
Neat.
Caught all the fish.
It's about time.
Oh, it's about time. I was about to give up and go home. Who's the new kid?
Name's Beck. You must be Rolo.
I see my reputation precedes me. Welcome to Mission Control.
Rolo waggled his head with pride.
You'll find we spared no expense in construction.
I've seen worse looking piles of junk.
Thanks. Hey, Luca, you know the security concerns we talked about?
Yeah?
While I was waiting, I made some improvements. Let me lock this baby down for a little test infiltration. Can't be too safe these days. Oh, jeez.
He goes all out, doesn't he? Always. Lavish. Damn it. Can.
Barlow, I swear to the unholy. Ah.
How'd you guys get all this junk in the first place? There's a guy in town named Jeff who trades us junk for snacks. Junk for junk. Junk food for junk. Nice.
So, pretty sweet security, right?
It was imaginative, I'll give you that.
Luca, are you sure we can trust this new recruit?
I'll vouch for it. Thanks, I guess.
Okay, Luca, you promised to fill me in about the Valentine warehouse.
Luca sucked in a long breath.
So like I said, there was someone there.
What were they doing?
I don't know, but the place was lit up and active.
Maybe they were squatters?
I don't think so, it seemed more organized. When the man pulled me in, I saw some sort of running equipment.
A man pulled you in?
Yeah, but I got away. You keep saying it was a man. You're wearing a mask, right? Yeah. And it could have been a woman.
How'd you get away?
I grabbed a rock or something and broke their mask. They let go and I ran.
Dang.
That's intense. No wonder you freaked out when you saw your grandma. Yeah, that's the other part. On our way here, Beck and I saw Harris Valentine meeting with Grand, wearing the same sort of hazmat suit.
Rollo let out a low whistle.
They weren't there for idle chit-chat. It was a proper clandestine meetup.
So let me get this straight. There's an operation in full swing at the Valentine warehouse. You were almost abducted by a strange man or woman in a protective suit. Then you saw your Gran in the same suit talking to Harris Valentine.
Pretty much. I'm beginning to think this town is kind of awesome.
Rollo and Luca shot back a look.
No offense.
And so we can logically conclude aliens or alien zombies have infiltrated the town. And their leader is your Gran and she tried to murder you.
First of all, for the last time, there are no aliens. Second, it couldn't have been my Gran at the warehouse. I broke the person's mask to get away. The mask Gran was wearing wasn't damaged. But she's definitely hiding something. Maybe.
Your Gran is weird, but she might be the most boring person in the universe. All she does is sit around and make all day making jam. What could she possibly have to hide?
I don't know, we haven't talked much since I moved in. Moved in? Your Gran isn't from here? No, she came a few months back to take care of me after
His mom went missing.
Is she really our Gran then?
She doesn't have horns like us.
You know your Gran before? Not really, no. It's been years since I'd seen her. Luca, don't take this the wrong way. But are we sure your Gran is on the up and up?
Luca gazed out the window.
I'm just saying. Sounds like some strange stuff has been happening since she showed up.
We would say the same thing about your family. But you're right. Luca, your Gran is hiding something. And Pa always says folks only bury stuff worth digging up. We need to investigate your house.
If my Gran is really hiding something, don't you think I would have noticed by now? That's kind of the whole point of hiding something. I guess you're right. Grant's been leaving the house for hours at a time this week. I'll call you two tomorrow when the coast is clear. We can start getting to the bottom of this.
I'm always game for a good snoop. You can count on me.